What's up, everyone? Welcome back. I'm Chris, your NFL writer here at Occupy Fantasy, here with some NFL DFS picks and tips for the Week 4 slates on FanDuel and DraftKings. We made it. Week 4. Now we have a lot of team-level data on what's been going on, this year to rely on and evaluate and feel a lot better about the spots that we're in moving forward. So definitely something we're excited about here as we prepare for the upcoming slate, not just this week, but moving forward. We're dropping these position previews every single week throughout the rest of the season. So if you like what we did here, please subscribe to the channel below. You will get notified when we have a new video for you to check out. It would also help us, and we would appreciate it greatly if you would like the video. Let us know you want to see more of this content moving forward. Do you have any questions about some quarterbacks coming up here in week 4? First thing you can do is leave a comment in the video below. We can answer you there. You can also consider joining our Discord. A button to join the Discord is above the description of the video below as well. So certainly feel free to do that. You can talk to other members of the Occupy staff and other subscribers to the Discord about the upcoming action throughout not just the NFL, but across the DFS world as well. Here in week 4, I think there's one game that everybody's going to be focusing on, and it's, from a game stack perspective, because it's really where the quarterbacks kind of come in for us for tournaments. Kyler Murray here, as the road quarterback against the Arizona Cardinals is going to be extremely popular. Reason is really not just what he can do through the air, but what he's doing on the ground as well. You see, had a rushing touchdown in every single game so far this season. Actually has the second most red zone rush attempts on the Cardinals. He's ahead of Chase Edmonds in that front. So, Kyler Murray is effectively a goal line, red zone area weapon for them, in addition to obviously just being their quarterback. So that's always going to give us an elevated floor of production to expect from Kyler Murray. Now he's in a very high total, mid 50s, 54, 55 point total game here, facing the Los Angeles Rams. Certainly going to be asked to do a lot through the air, but also obviously with his athleticism to keep the Cardinals competitive. So we like Kyler a lot this week. So it goes without saying that obviously the other side of this game, and certainly a little cheaper here, on DraftKings and FanDuel, Stafford 7,000 here, 7,800 over on FanDuel, will probably be popular as well. He's been extremely efficient through the air because he does not really run the football. In fact, has no rushing expectation whatsoever. But if we can get multiple touchdown passes out of Stafford, hit that 300-yard bonus week in and week out, we're certainly going to be happy with him as well. Just came off of a big performance against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that's fresh on everybody's mind. This will probably be the most popular game stack of the week across the DFS industry. One kind of quick and dirty way to kind of demonstrate that to you, on the team level. Arizona averaging 9.5 yards per passing play, over 320 yards per game in the passing game. That's the third most efficient passing offense so far here in the 2021 season. And the Rams, 9.7 yards per play, second most efficient. So you got two of these efficient passing games going head to head against each other. Both these quarterbacks are going to be interesting to us for that reason. So that's why we're super interested in both of those guys this week. Our model actually does think Josh Allen is the top quarterback this week. And why not? The Bills are huge. I think it's 17-point favorites against the Houston Texans this week. So definitely expect the Bills to score in the neighborhood of like 31, 32 points in that game where the total is in betting markets right now. And coming off of his by far best performance of the season against the Washington football team, we'll see if he can replicate that. I think he's got a pretty good chance to do so. One thing to be mindful of, the Houston Texans defense has actually been pretty tough against the pass on the per play level, through some of the advanced data that you can go out there and look at. I believe one source that, I do like looking at is Football Outsiders DVOA. They have Houston 7th overall defending the passing game. So by that one metric alone, it might be a little bit tougher for Allen than most expect as a huge favorite, but I think he's still going to get his. And obviously, he's another guy who can make some plays with his legs, although we haven't really seen an eruption spot from him in that front yet either. I think you'll see a lot of people interested in the Carolina Panthers and Dallas Cowboys going head-to-head this weekend. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys are always popular. Everybody loves their Cowboys. And the Panthers have been one of the best teams in the league so far. Kind of getting personally a little concerned about Dak Prescott. The first couple of weeks of the season here, his average intended air yards, per pass has actually dropped a little bit compared to last season by almost a full yard, I think over a full yard almost actually. It's averaging like 6.5 yards per pass in the air. It was like 7.5, closer to 8 in previous seasons. He had a shoulder injury in the preseason that held him out of practices and obviously games. Maybe that's playing into their game planning a little bit. I'm obviously kind of openly speculating. But one way to get exposure to this game is to Stack the Carolina side. Obviously, Sam Darnold has been pretty efficient through his 3 games. And while I don't certainly think he'll continue to lead the Panthers in rushing touchdowns like he has through the first 3 weeks of the season, they're probably going to have to lean on him more to get things done for them without Christian McCaffrey for the next few weeks here. So feel free to, if you're interested in stacking the Carolina and Dallas game, and maybe even for low-risk contests, especially this week, to turn to Sam Darnold. He's got a pretty interesting spot here against Dallas. Should be a pretty high-scoring affair. And Darnold is probably the most likely source of production for the Panthers. Again, not just because he's the quarterback, but because Christian McCaffrey is not available. And it probably goes without saying that anybody that behind Christian McCaffrey is not necessarily at the same level. No more Mike Davis on this team. Mike Davis got pretty huge share of the work for them last season when Christian McCaffrey got hurt. Looks like they're a little more inclined to split the work between 2 running backs. Talk about that in the running back video. So I think the passing game for the Panthers is a really, really good spot to be on here in week 4. A lot of people are probably feeling less confident in Jalen Hurts going into his matchup against the Chiefs this week after he struggled against those same Dallas Cowboys in week 3. But the Chiefs have been extremely poor in all respects defensively, allowing 7 yards per play to opposing offenses through 3 weeks. We know Hurts is a dynamic dual threat quarterback. Actually had his worst fantasy point game on the ground, as a runner of his entire career so far in week 3 against the Cowboys, just 3.5 DraftKings points on the ground for you. So he can make up for that, though, if they go extremely pass heavy like they did against Dallas and he gets over the 300-yard bonus, gets you a couple touchdowns. Probably going to be the case that he's going to have to do that stuff again here against the Chiefs in week 4. He still hasn't gone over that $7,000 salary threshold here on DraftKings. A little bit more expensive on the FanDuel side at $7,900, but I think the same thesis sort of at play here. Hurts and the Eagles potentially chasing points against a high-powered Chiefs offense. This should be one of the higher scoring games of the week. Should probably be one of the other games you expect to see people looking at for their game stacks in their DFS lineups and tournaments this week. So Jalen Hurts, a phenomenal play once again here in week 4. And obviously that means, the highest priced quarterback on the slate is going to be in play as well. Don't have to spend a ton of time on Patrick Mahomes and what he's capable of, but obviously we already like one side of that game. Patrick Mahomes on the road, probably going to be feeding his favorite weapons and trying to really stave off a long losing streak for the Chiefs here, right? Patrick Mahomes definitely looking to get on the right side of the win-loss column here. 3 passing touchdowns in every single game so far. Pretty good and pretty par for the course with Patrick Mahomes. That's going to do it for this video. If you like what you saw here, we would love it if you give us a thumbs up on the video. It lets us know that you enjoyed the content that we gave you here today. Is there a quarterback that we didn't mention that you'd like to hear more about? Why don't you leave a comment below? It allows us to see what you want us to talk about, and we'll certainly be happy to respond to you there and answer your question. You can also consider joining our Discord where people are asking all sorts of questions about everything throughout the week, and we'd be happy to talk to you there as well. Keep an eye out for the daily plug at OccupyFantasy.com. That's where we reveal our top plays of the week, not just at the quarterback position, but at all the other positions that you have to use to fill out your lineups. Also has the more important stuff that you need to read and kind of consider, which is your optimal lineup strategy construction tips for low risk or high risk contests, tailored to the context of the slate, using the players that we think are the best players to use. That's always super important. Make sure you check that out. Also, we'll have some suggestions for contests that you should be playing based off your bankroll tier. All the good stuff that you kind of expect to see from Daily Plug over at OccupyFantasy.com will be available for you. For any further questions that you might have, again, link to join our Discord is above the description of the video and below the video. You can click on that, join our Discord, and you can talk to other Occupy staff members like myself or anybody else that works here, or other subscribers about what's going on, and get your questions answered that way as well. So once again, folks, I'm Chris for Occupy. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.